Wow, it's hard to believe that already 6 weeks have transpired since the beginning of Moon Knight. I can't believe the finale has come and gone, and we're moving on to bigger and better things. Well, maybe not bigger and better things, but more things in general. Thor, Love, and Thunder, Miss Marvel, and obviously Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, like right now. But this video is going to be my breakdown on episode 5 and 6 of Moon Knight. I was not able to do an episode 5 breakdown solely because I got extremely busy with final exams. That was my final week of my junior year of college. I have now moved out of the dorms for the summer. I am back at home, and so I'll be able to do a ton of videos, and I hope you guys are looking forward to them. I hope you've been enjoying the videos thus far. Let's get right into it. Now, I want to give my overarching thoughts and unique takeaways on these two episodes here. Like, there's so much Marvel content out there. There's probably a billion Moon Knight reviews. And so I want to give you a reason to watch my channel. And by doing so, or to do so, I'm going to provide some unique thoughts, some strong opinions. And one thing I have in this video, I don't think anyone's talking about, but it's blatantly clear to me. I am excited to share it with you guys. But to begin, I think that these are the best two combined episodes of a Disney Plus Marvel series yet. I am not sure if it's my favorite Marvel Disney Plus series. I think I'm going to have to ruminate on that a little bit more before I make a decision. But like, if you take two consecutive episodes out of any series, like, episode 5 and 6 of Moon Knight, they are the best. They're extremely emotional, well acted. I don't think it's offensive to any other actor from the shows to say that this was the best performance of any of the shows. Like, not knocking Elizabeth Olsen, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, not a knock on any of those people, but to play multiple personalities of the same character, that takes extreme talent. And Oscar Isaac absolutely knocked it out of the park. My first introduction to this actor was through Poe Dameron in Star Wars. And then I kept seeing him in all these other things. I saw him in Drive. I saw him in Ex Machina and then Dune. And each of those films, like, he's not a very primary character. And so it was kind of hard to determine like how good of an actor he truly is. But I mean, it's blatantly obvious now. And I do think this could have made a phenomenal film, although they wouldn't have been able to flesh out the character as well. But it's kind of like a weird thought I have because I have that in mind, like, they wouldn't have been able to do as much and it wouldn't have been quite as well developed. But I think Moon Knight had the potential to be an award-winning film, probably one of the highest award-winning films of any Marvel movie, especially with like mixed reviews coming out on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think that it's important to not let that overshadow how phenomenal Moon Knight is and how great Marvel is doing with a lot of their things right now. Like, it's not just their movies and I don't know if it's right to say they're spreading resources thin or anything, because obviously they have tons of that, like they have tons of money, but Moon Knight, I mean, it's phenomenal. And so let's not think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going anywhere, because this is cemented itself as one of the best installments yet. Now, I think the best scenes were his becoming of Moon Knight and then Steven being frozen in the sands. The second of which being very hard to watch, as we now know for sure how much Mark cares for and needs Steven in his life, which is obviously reinforced by the finale. Now, there is a little bit of hand-waving logic. You guys know what I mean. Like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, you're just waving your hand. Like, don't worry about it. Like, how is Mark able to immediately turn the field of reeds back into the duat and save Steven? Like, how is he able to be like, nah, I'm not good with that, and then just turn around and it's like, oh yeah, it's the duat again? Like, I don't really understand that. Like, I just don't think that's very feasible in the Egyptian afterlife. I mean, like, we're already getting into things that are hard to grasp, like intangible things like the afterlife. And so to add on that additional layer is a little bit confusing to me. And I think it was more so an act by Osiris because of Tawret's line about him being a softie in regard to Mark saving Steven from the sands. Like, obviously they made it seem, they portrayed it as Mark saving Steven with the full heart from the frozen sands. But in reality, I think it was Osiris just kind of doing them a solid. Now, the fight between Amit and Kanchu was excellent, and I was wondering throughout the entire series if they do a god fight like this and fully reveal Amit. I mean, they teased her the entire series, showing all the crocodile imagery, and yeah, sure enough, they did, which, I thought was great. CGI was fantastic. I really thought so. Now, with regard to Kanchu, maybe I'm just stupid, but I am also confused why he literally can't just kill Hera right then and there in the pyramid at the end of the episode. Both Amit and Kanchu were unleashed from the Ushabtis, so they're more powerful now when they even were at the beginning of the episode. Like, obviously, Kanchu was imprisoned in the stone figure, which is the Ushabti, and so that was like his least powerful state. Like, he couldn't do jack squat when he was in that state. Before that, he was just in Marc Spector's head. Like, obviously, Layla couldn't see him. But now, the Ushabti is broken. And for whatever reason, he is in the real world in full force. And so why can't he just kill Hera? We know that they are interacting with, like, the real physical nature of Earth. Because, obviously, not just their avatars can see them. Amit physically touches Hera on the head. Like, why couldn't Kanchu physically stab Hera? I don't know if that's not enough proof for you. Layla talks to Kanchu. His fight with Amit affects their surroundings. Like, I distinctly remember how he just kind of summons his staff and it absolutely wrecks a van or something. It wrecks a truck. So why couldn't he just kill Hera? Why did he need to wait for Jake Lockley to control the body and then use him to shoot Hera? Which we'll talk about here soon, but maybe I'm just stupid. I'm overlooking something. Like, you're probably just going to say, like, oh yeah, they can't affect, like, humans directly. I don't know. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, considering he's not in prison anymore. And we know that they were both interacting in the real world. It was great to see Layla's costume. I don't know. It's interesting to say the least. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of, like, the white and red fabric on the front. Like, I thought that part looked a little cheap, but everything else, like the boots, the golden wings, and the golden swords are badass, and they looked great without a doubt. Now, this is the most unique stance here in the video. Like, you won't probably find this information in any other video, so listen up. Now, Layla is not from the comics. She is an MCU creation, and the superhero she becomes is also not in the comics. She's kind of like a mixture of Marlene and then I think like Moon Knight's dad from the comics, but definitely Marlene, who's Moon Knight's love interest from the comics. And I honestly think that as a superhero, she'll end up being called Scarab because that was her father's name for her, and the Scarab device, like the MacGuffin throughout the entire series that led Hera to Amit's tomb, had the golden wings that would shoot out and, would kind of like fly around. Like, it would literally hover above like the base of it. And Layla re-obtained it because Hera left it on Mark's body. So in my mind, like, there is no doubt, like, if you're trying to find like a superhero name for Layla, it's going to be Scarab. I think that's pretty cool. And, like, does it matter? Well, not really, but I think it's kind of cool because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Layla, not from the comics. What do we call her? Just Layla. Well, I think it would be cool for people to start calling her Scarab because I think that's what Marvel's going to do. Now, I absolutely love the post-credit scene. Actually, I want to touch briefly on Moon Knight's costume and powers himself because it's the first time we really see it in full effect. Like, they used it very sparingly throughout the series. It's barely in the first episode until the very end. It's not in episodes 4 and 5. It's just briefly in episodes 2 and 3. And so now we get to see it, in full force. He uses like a grappling hook, but it's a grappling crescent dart in the street fight. Like when Arthur Harrow takes Mr. Knight and throws him into the store, and then he changes to Moon Knight, shoots out the dart. It took me like 3 times to see what was actually going on there. But yeah, it is like a physically device he shot, and then that's what he uses to like pull himself to Arthur Harrow. But yeah, getting back to the post-credit scene, I heard a lot of rumors and even people saying it was confirmed that Bruce Banner would appear. And obviously that was very much so not confirmed and slightly disappointing to me because I thought there was potential for that to be a great interaction, a great, albeit brief interaction where like Bruce Banner's like, I know how it feels to have a voice in your head. Like, Bruce Banner is the best person for him to talk to because he has kind of that split personality. You have the Hulk and Bruce Banner, and they eventually formed to be one, similar to how, Mr. Knight and Moon Knight, ended up helping each other and they worked in full on unison. Also, people said that he was like shown in Budapest during the filming. So like there were so many signs pointing toward it happening. And yeah, I'm a little disappointed that it didn't. Either way, though, the Jake Lockley scene was a phenomenal substitute. It provided closure for the show while also teasing what's to come for the character in a rather sinister way, as we all know how hardcore Jake Lockley is from the scenes where Steven and Mark would black out and then suddenly wake up to a bunch of dead bodies. So, does Jake Lockley have the Moon Knight powers? I would assume he does. But since Steven and Mark seem to lose them and they're all using the same bodies, this isn't entirely clear. It's something I'm sure we'll learn, very soon. Like, I don't know, very soon is the right word, but as in like the very next time we see Moon Knight on screen, we will learn this. Which, I don't know. When will we see Moon Knight next? I hope soon, like maybe Werewolf by Night Halloween special, which they still haven't really confirmed. Maybe the Blade movie. I mean, it seems like there won't be a season 2 of Moon Knight. It would be weird to do like a movie focused around Moon Knight now. I'm just really confused where we'll see Moon Knight next. But yeah, I guess you could say that for almost all these characters that are appearing and stuff. Like, when are we going to see Hawkeye next? When are we going to see Kate Bishop? Like, obviously, I guess like they've confirmed the Captain America 4. So I don't know. When are we seeing the Eternals next? When is Shang-Chi appearing next? So we all know, like, we trust Marvel that these characters will appear again, but there's quite a bit of uncertainty right now until they confirm in Avengers 5, and then everyone can be just like, oh yeah, everyone's in Avengers 5, which I also like don't think is feasible. But regardless, getting back to the post-credit scene here, as he wheels Harrow out of the hospital, that same song from the end of episode 5 plays, Más allá del sol, when he was in the field of reeds. This translates to Beyond the Sun, which makes perfect sense for Mark entering the afterlife at the end of that episode, but I don't really know why they played it again here. And then they also blended it like right into the Frank Sinatra song, which that would make sense because it's all about like, I will never let you go, like you're my way of life, referring to how Kanchu will never let Marc Spector go. And then it also kind of segued into Jake speaking Spanish to Harrow, saying today is your turn to lose. Again, I don't understand this. Like, there's so many things. I just probably sound like the worst breakdowner to you because like there are things I'm confused about and I'm supposed to be figuring this out for you. But truly, I don't know why. Jake is not supposed to be Hispanic or anything. So for him to speak Spanish in this scene definitely confused me. And yeah, is one of the many questions that this episode raised. And so yeah, personally, I think that we will see Moon Knight in the Werewolf by Night special. Do I think we'll see him in the Blade movie? I think we will in the post-credit scene or something along those lines. I just think that the Blade movie will be more of him and Dane Whitman. Because it's not like a Midnight Suns team-up movie or anything like that. So we still, we got to flush out the character of Blade before we have him team up with other characters, which it seems like a lot of people are like already aiming for. But I don't know, like so much uncertainty right now for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe before they start confirming some more of those films. So I don't know, guys. I really enjoyed this. Again, I think it's my second favorite Marvel series at the moment, and it's liable to be my favorite. Like, I know I'm kind of sounding a little bit down on it, but I'm definitely pondering a lot of these questions at the moment. But Scarab, though. Layla is Scarab. You heard it here first. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Bye now.